Hi guys, and welcome back. It's your girl Yummy.com. Thank you for joining me, my friends, my internet friends. No, today is not a tipsy movie review. I just needed a drink before I dived into this topic of conversation because it's close, near, and dear to my heart. And it's going to take me back, way back into my mental Rolodex. It's gonna take me there. No, I don't. I don't want to go there. She's wrong. Basically, we're going to be talking about my personal history with the concept of a boy band. How far back it goes, where it all started, where it is now, and how it got me to BTS.
And I saw everything. Boy bands, and another one, and another one, and another one.
Which is what basically this whole channel is, just how I got here. If you could explain to me how I got here, that would be a lot of help, but I doubt you can. Anyways, here's we go. As a young lad, as a young girl, I grew up, I remember in my formative years back when, like, you don't really have a lot of choice in what you listen to. So you listen to whatever your parents have on, because that's like where your seminal piece of control is. Like you that's your parents control what you listen to when you're really, really young. And my parents listened to a lot of Jackson 5. Well, specifically my mom and my uncle listen to a lot of Michael Jackson and specifically Jackson 5. So that kind of where I would say it technically rooted and started, but I didn't pick it. I didn't have any control over it. It was just what was playing in the house. As I grew up, I started to grow a fond connection to the Disney Channel. Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. The channels were literally 43 Nickelodeon, 44 Disney, 45 Cartoon Network. I lived off of those channels, but specifically Disney Channel. That was where I found most of my content, as most children did. Children with cable at least did.
Yeah, we had cable.
And because of that, I got really attached to Disney cartoons, not cartoons, but Disney shows like Lizzie McGuire, That's So Raven, Phil of the Future, all of that. So Weird even, I used to watch all the time at night. But yeah, I used to watch all of those things all the time, and Disney didn't really have a seminal boy band at that time. So I did not focus on music. So like when I was in like elementary school, I was more focused on television than I was music, and I wasn't really attracted to the music side of Disney because that's not what their focus was. That all came to a halt when they dropped a band called the Jonas Brothers.
Kevin doesn't even know what the song's about, let alone the lyrics.
Now I know what you're thinking, Yemi. The Jonas Brothers was your first experience with loving a group? No, S Club 7 was my first experience with loving a group, but the Jonas Brothers had to do. They were my first all-boy group. They were super sweet, super young. I remember seeing them when they were like, before they were even really on the Disney Channel, when they did Mandy. I remember watching them perform Mandy. Like it was a culture shift in me, like when the Jonas Brothers came out, because I'm a PK. I'm a pastor's kid. My dad is a pastor. My mom is a prophetess. I'm a Christian. I know you probably couldn't tell. But yeah, so I'm a PK. So I was growing up in a very Christian family, and when like you listen to a lot of R&B, technically growing up, like to see the Jonas Brothers, these cute boys who like wore purity rings because they wanted to save themselves till marriage. I was like, oh, for me, I mean, no, I wasn't because I was a child, but I was like, oh my God, that means they love Jesus. Oh my God, my parents would love them. Yeah, I was thinking that at that young of an age. I was like, oh my God, that means I'm gonna marry Kevin Jonas. And yes, Kevin Jonas was my favorite Jonas brother. I don't know what it is. It was probably the Sideburns, but I was like, I want that one, Mom. But anyways, besides the point. So I grew up loving and appreciating the Jonas Brothers. Obviously, it was to the point where I got in trouble because I would scribble on my wall like, I heart Jonas Brothers. If I could have gotten tattoos at that age, I would have a Jonas Brothers chest piece that I would be embarrassed of till this day. But I literally, I remember so vividly, I sketched it so beautifully. It was when my artistic creativity was at its peak. I sketched this big mural of the Jonas Brothers, not their faces because I can't draw that well, but like bubble letters of the Jonas Brothers. My wall was filled with, I would like buy magazines to like I would save up money, buy magazines to like paste the Jonas Brothers onto my wall, like just do. They were my main focus and focal point. And then my heart broke because Nick left and Nick formed Nick in the Administration. As soon as he formed, I think he was still kind of in the Jonas Brothers when he started Nick in the Administration. But as soon as I saw him do Nick in the Administration, I was like, oh, it's over. I gotta jump ship before I get my heart broken. And that's what I did. I jumped ship. I was like, I'm so sad that my childhood is over, but I had a good run. It was like the Jonas Brothers brought me some of my favorite songs. Like,
I took a ship to the year 3000. This song had gone multi-platinum. Everybody bought our 7th album. It had out so Kelly Clarkson. Hair clapping, earth shaking, heart breaking. There's no faking what you feel when you're on a roll. Yeah, music's in my soul. Just dance in my living room, love with an attitude, drunk to an 80s groove. We're gonna dance in my living room, stand to the way you move, hurts when I'm leaving you. Yeah, dance in my living room, love with an attitude, drunk. It's only you, when you know that it's real. So why would you fight, try to deny the way that you feel? So let me feel me, your body's got love playing a song. Stop pretending you're shy, come on and dance, 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 oh.
video girl who rocked my world for a whole few seconds, and now I know I'm not about to be another victim. It's that video girl vixen. If you tell me that you don't still bang to Love Bug, you're a liar. You are a liar. Good Night and Goodbye, it is an underrated bop. Like, I think that is still one of my favorite Jonas Brothers songs. Good Night and Goodbye, Love Bug. And like simultaneously also, I was going through my Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus phase. So I was listening to a lot of Miley Cyrus. What's that one song by her? I'm gonna start all over, out of the fire and into the fire again. You make me want to forget and start all over. Yeah, that. And Demi Lovato's first album, Get Back, I was like, oh, I'm a rocker, because I had these two sides going. This is like early high school, I think, like middle school, early high school. I had these two sides going. I had this Disney Channel rocker kid who was listening to like Miley Cyrus's side of the Hannah Montana Miley Cyrus tracks and the Jonas Brothers' second album, Good Night and Goodbye, and like Demi Lovato's first album. Then I had this other side of me, which was like this Warped Tour kid that I felt was like, that was like related to the skate culture of like Gym Class Heroes, Panic at the Disco, just Fall Out Boy, obviously, because every seminal girl in high school was into Fall Out Boy. I don't know why, but just like all of that 303, that Leighton Meester song with 303, everybody was singing it, man. Oh, I remember that. Pierce the Veil the veil. So I had this Disney Channel rock star side to me that was like Jonas Brothers Good Night and Goodbye, and then this Warped Tour rock star skater side to me that was like Pierce the Veil. And this was all like, again, middle school, early high school. Then I was like, okay, Jonas Brothers are over. What am I gonna do with my life? And then One Direction dropped. Like, honestly, One Direction dropped like mid-high school for me. I started really paying attention to them because they were famous, and everybody was like hype about them, and I was like, I don't really care about One Direction. I'm just gonna chill. And that's also when I like started to get into K-pop because of my color guard co-captain, Angel. She started to introduce me to like K-pop, like size Gangnam Style, all that. And then so like I had like a little shiny phase in there. Like I liked Big Bang a little bit, but mostly shiny kind of a vibe. And then One Direction became the forefront. Like end of high school, like in the midst of that K-pop rama, One Direction became everything to me. It's like 16 years old. I was like, okay, One Direction, ride or die. Embarrassing stories of my life have come out of me loving One Direction. I remember distinctly how I got into One Direction, actually. Me and my sister were bored one weekend, and we were in our formal living room. We sat there for 3 days straight watching One Direction videos. And I mean all of them. Music videos, interviews, fan clips together. All of that stuff for 3 days straight, and we became hooked. Like, and again, I think I correlate artists to a certain time period in my life. So when I think of like Jonas Brothers, I also think of Demi Lovato and Pierce the Veil and Gym Class Heroes. But when I think of One Direction, I also think of like Justin Bieber, because that's when I like bought My World 2.0, and I vividly remember that. And like these are very short periods of time. This is like the thing. For me, it felt like a century, but it was literally months. Like it was literally months, but I would dedicate my entire life to it. So it felt like years. Like it felt like years of my life were being given to like decades of my life were being given to this thing. But it was literally months. Like for One Direction, I went from 0 to 180 flat, like in 2 seconds flat. Like once I was in. I was like, great. How do I get an Irish passport? Niall will be my husband, because again, I didn't want to choose. I never liked to choose the obvious one. Like my sister was very much a Nick girl, but everyone was a Nick girl. Everyone loved Nick because he was the closest to our age. So everyone wanted Nick, but I was like, no, I want Kevin. And then One Direction, everyone was like, ooh, Harry, ooh, Zayn, he's exotic. Ooh, Harry, he's fun. I was like, no. Give me the pale one. I was like, give me the pale Irish one. I want that one.
Cause right now it says that we can't come to the phone. And I know it makes no sense, cause you walked out the door. But it's the only way I hear your voice anymore. Now we get a bit tense. Wonder if my mind just leaves out all the bad parts. I know it didn't make sense. I admit it that I think about it sometimes. Even though I know it's not so distant. Oh, I know I still wanna reminiscing. What a time, you and I.
Okay, with the teeth, yeah, I want that one. And that's really what it was. And it's hilarious because like, again, just my love of boy bands blossomed out of this, and I really was a One Direction. I was really a Directioner. I had a Directioner Twitter account. Me and my sister bought $400 One Direction tickets, drove to Hershey Park, like, found a hotel, and this was all on my dime, by the way. I was working in technical theater. I was like doing a side job in technical theater, so I was making slight money, and all my money was going strictly to One Direction at this time.
Like, what the f is wrong with you? Does his d shoot Lipton iced tea or something? Like, half lemonade, half iced tea. Arnold Palmer. Arnold, unless your d shoots Arnold Palmer, I don't want to hear it.
Bought a hotel room, stayed at the hotel room, went to the concert. It was like front row, like you can see them. I thought Niall looked at me for a good 4 to 5 seconds in the eyes. Niall, if you see this, and you did, let me know. But I was like, oh my God, he is staring directly at me. So we were great seats. We like had a whole trip to Hershey Park. So that was kind of like how deep into it I was. And kind of started off my concert viewing experience. The first concert I ever went to was Gym Class Hero, which is not a boy band, but it is all boys. But that was my first concert I ever went to. The second concert I ever went to was One Direction. And then I simply only went to boy band concerts after that. I was supposed to go to a Jonas Brothers concert. I went to go see, I was gonna call them Sunset Curve. That is not their name. Sunset Curve is the band from Julie and the Phantoms. Emblem 3. I went to go see Emblem 3.
Love my women like I love my juice. Naked, all natural, no preservatives or fakeness. I like my ladies like I like my Brady's in bunches. Got the 6-pack, I ain't talking about the crunches.
Like, I would only see boy bands in concerts, and it was kind of ridiculous. It wasn't until like college where I was like, I can see other bands. That makes sense. But yeah, so that's kind of where I was up to until college. When I went to college, I became best friends with this girl who is still my best friend to this day, Naya. Here's a picture of us. I love that girl. Would take a bullet for her. Honestly, one of the only people in the world I would take a bullet for. But she was my sweet mate. We had a suite. She was my sweet mate, and she was really into One Direction, and she loved Niall too. And that's how I knew One Direction gives you good judgment sometimes, because I've seen Direction or Twitter. It ain't great. But I was like, yes, this is everything. That's how I made my first like really close college friend, through our love of One Direction and YouTube comedy, but mostly One Direction. So obviously I was like very into it, but then I had my heart broken in again because they broke up.
Quite the same way, but I love you and tell you I love you. Why? I just didn't wanna feel so low. No, I'm gonna miss the crazy nights, but you made me wanna let it all go. I was always gonna live fast, die young, slow down when you came along. Oh, you stress me out, you kill me, you drag me down, you fuck me up. Screaming, I don't know how to make it stop. Walk through fire for you, just let me adore you. Walk through fire for you, just let me adore you. That's the only thing I'll ever do.
Hi guys, Editing Yemi here. To be very honest, there are parts of my boy band past that I would rather forget, but are still excellent to remember sometimes. So 2 of the bands that I did neglect to mention are 5 Seconds of Summer, which is a concert I did in fact go to and was possibly the worst concert of my entire life, Not because of them, but because of just the seating arrangement in the place. It was wild.
You pushing up, pulling away from you. Giving up, you take. Young boy, say you want me. Are you lost? And I'm just a dead man walking to you.
And the second band would be BTR. I know you thought I was going to say BTS. No, BTR. Big Time Rush. They were a TV show that was like a TV show band, kind of fake, kind of real, used their real first names. I actually met my favorite member, Logan, when I was working a concert. It was amazing. He was a sweetheart. I still listen to his solo music now. But yeah, I was really into Big Time Rush. Really loved watching their TV show. And just loved to see 4 boys from Minnesota, even though they weren't really 4 boys from Minnesota. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program. So because One Direction broke up, I forsaked all pop things. That means K-pop. That means regular pop. I went straight into indie, R&B, and EDM world during college. It wasn't until close after college where I got an internship working at a place called, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this place, but it's called Billboard. They do these charts, and it's very interesting. They do these charts that like rank music, so yeah, I worked there. And because I worked there, a lot of the times people would come and perform there at things called Billboard Live. And I would like see bands that I used to really love. I saw like I saw like a bunch of people. I got the chance. I was on a set with Bob the Drag Queen and Asha, my queen Asha, okay? It was inspiring because they were talking about being a drag queen of color. It's just, sorry, I'm going off the rails here. What I meant to say is basically, after One Direction broke up, I had given up on boy bands and most of pop in general. And got heavy into R&B. Then I started working at Billboard, and fun fact, while I went to go do my interview at Billboard, a boy band came to do their Billboard Live interview. That boy band, their name is BTS. I could not care less. I walked by BTS, did not care, went to my interview because I was so nervous, did my interview. This was like March or something, March or February or something, did my interview, came back, sat down. I was so nervous, and I left without saying a word to Min Yoongi. Do you know how stupid I feel right now that I had a chance to see Min Yoongi in person and I didn't? Anyways, so simply after that, I got the internship, obviously. I started working at Billboard. I started getting reintroduced to pop music, to all kinds of music, and just a general appreciation. I've always found myself a lover of all music, but that internship really truly tested that. And I had a friend who was my lunch buddy, and she was an intern as well, but she was specifically writing on K-pop at Billboard. And she would explain to me BTS, and I'd be like, yeah, I get it. But eventually, we talked about it so much, and she was my only, her and Rebecca were my only two, close, my age, friends at that job. I had people who were older than me and, really cool, my superiors that I love to this day. But me and Rebecca couldn't take lunch at the same time because we were interning at the same time. We were both editors, and production assistant in editing, so we couldn't take lunch at the same time. So I would always sit with this girl and we would talk, and she wrote about K-pop so much because she really loved it, and she would explain it to me, and I was like, yeah. And then as soon as I left the job, I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? And I moved to Nigeria, and then I finally came back to the States, and I dove headfirst into BTS, and that is how I landed here. So I guess you could say that my attribution to boy bands always started very young, but my love of specifically BTS is attributed to my friend. I believe her name was Melissa. We like separated after that, but I believe her name was like Melissa, who worked at Billboard as an intern with me, and I would say Angel, who got me into K-pop during high school. And I think that's what attributed to my love of BTS now and my like knowledge and appreciation of them. But I've always loved boy bands, and I think I've always loved boy bands, or specifically male orchestrated groups, because their voices are always so interesting and dynamic, and they feel less of a pressure to sing about like love necessarily, or just love. Like, yes, obviously Gym Class Heroes has their most famous song, Cupid's Chokehold, but that's not the song that made me fall in love with Gym Class Heroes, which isn't technically a boy band, but is an all-male group. Face in the Hall was the one, and it was because it was talking about serious school bullying and depression because of that, and suicide. Like, that is one of my favorite albums still to this day. I have it on vinyl, and it's stories like that that really get to me and that really make me appreciate people as like as artists. And I feel like, again, because of the stigma of like sexism and everything, obviously men are more frequently to speak and sing and create music on those topics rather than women, who are expected to create music about men. Like Taylor Swift, lovely that she is now. I mean, I wouldn't know. I do not listen to Taylor Swift. That not because I'm not proud that I don't listen to Taylor Swift, but I just don't. I didn't connect with her. I connected with her when she was like, our song is slam screen door, sneaking out like up and on your window. But like, again, Taylor Swift made her market in love songs. That's what made her very popular. That's what transformed her from country to pop. That should have said no, Joe Jonas. She was talking about you. Should have gone home. Should have thought twice before you let her all go. I mean, I guess not, because now you're married to you're married to the Queen of the North. So who's really winning? But that's not the point. The point is, women were always told and marketed to sing about men, or to sing about love, or to sing specifically about like feelings and our feelings about love and the opposite sex. And men were always given the chance to sing about other things, not just women. Yes, most of the R&B hits that we love from Jodeci are about women. Most of the R&B hits from the 90s that we remember, Meet Me at the Altar in Your White Dress, are about love and women. But there are also so many other songs just about partying, having fun. And it is also the reason why we remember people like Escape and Missy Elliott, because their music wasn't necessarily dictated by the people they loved. That doesn't explain why I listened to so much One Direction, because a lot of their stuff was geared to females, but I think that I was just already on the path that I was just like, let's just go head first, okay? Or Justin Bieber, again, a lot of love songs. But I think that's why I initially started on boy groups, and then I always just kind of stuck to it. Like Fifi Zappa, she's a boy group stan, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it is just what it is. And it is also, I feel like, heavily because men are encouraged to make other songs other than just about who they like. And I'm not talking about like now, obviously you can make songs about anything. Meg Thee Stallion, shout out to you, body yaddy 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 yaddy. But like, I'm talking about like, as I was growing up, women were encouraged to make songs about men, and men were encouraged to make songs about whatever they wanted. And that was the unfair dynamic, but I always gravitated to people who made songs about things that they wanted rather than just about the opposite sex. And that's the end of my boy band history. That's the reason why I think I like boy bands so much and love the content that they make, or was so drawn to them in the beginning and throughout my entire adult life. It's just the necessary need to make music about something other than the love of your life or whoever eyes you may be looking into. So I think that's kind of the best way to describe it. I think I've talked a lot about myself, and this may be one of my most revealing videos other than my trailer. And with that being said, I'm Yummy.com. Don't worry, I will be back, so stay tuned. Thanks for listening, guys, as I rambled.